Well, the after-event commentators, etc., including a former speechwriter for President Bush, are saying that the United Nations showdown yesterday between the President Bush and President Ahmadinejad was the end of the American-Iran policy, that essentially the explanations and accusations made by Ahmadinejad in his speech, which ran in prime time as opposed to the president's noontime break, was well received at the United Nations and stated specifically a lot of the problems that they are going to have and that the world is having, including the questioning of the entire structure of the United Nations Security Council and whether it really means anything. The question of why it is that 5 nations whose only common point is that they all won in the Second World War should have a veto over any other action by international decision is one that was raised in the thing and has echoed ever since in the green granite building. Meanwhile, the president took a hit yesterday as well. White House is offering some compromises on the interrogation and trial of detainees. No details yet, but there are negotiations going on between the big 3 Republicans on Capitol Hill, Senators Warner, McCain, and Graham, and the White House on trying to get a bill through, but it's entirely possible that nothing is going to get done in this Congress, or that nothing is going to get done before this Congress adjourns, which means then that if the president wants to push it, he can call him back into a lame duck session after the election, which is an opening for more mischief than you can imagine. That Thai coup yesterday sounds like a martial arts exercise, doesn't it? The coup in Thailand by the military leadership has apparently gelled. The Constitution is suspended. There will be a new prime minister within several months, according to the general who led the coup, who says that the military is not interested in running the country. The prime minister, who was in New York for the United Nations meeting, is reportedly flying to Paris, where he maintains an apartment and probably will not go home since he's likely to be prosecuted for various corruptions and other charges and things of that nature. One should never underestimate the influence of the calendar in events of this nature, particularly in Thailand and that section. The opium crop is in and is being now transported to the outside world from the Golden Triangle, and changes in political leadership and control by the military at this point in time in Thailand are somewhat suspect for those of us who are aware of the difference. Meanwhile, Atlantis is apparently falling apart. Something up there was not only not bolted down, but has come adrift. There are 5 total now pieces, objects, items floating around the space shuttle. Nobody knows exactly which ones are which. They are definitely man-made. One of them is a piece of foil with a grounding strap attached to it. Nobody's been able to identify where any of it came from. NASA has delayed the return flight for a day while they make an examination and inspection of the shuttle to try and determine if this stuff has got anything to do with the heat shields and whether it poses a threat. But once again, the question of the NASA workmanship as pieces keep falling off should be raised sometime. And that's enough news for now. I'm Travus T. Hipp on the Pig on the Radio on a Wednesday, hump day. Stay tuned.